Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jason. We're very happy to have you with us today.
This episode is specially designed for English learners at the B1 and B2 levels. We will speak naturally, but we will also try to keep our sentences clear and easy to follow.
That's right. You don't need to understand every single word. Try to focus on the general meaning of the conversation.
And when you hear a useful phrase, you can pause the episode and repeat it aloud. Repeating sentences is a great way to improve your pronunciation and speaking confidence.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about 3 topics that are part of everyday life.
First, we'll discuss work and career. We'll talk about remote work, professional meetings, and work-life balance.
Then, we'll move on to travel and cultural experiences. We'll share useful expressions for asking for directions, ordering food, and dealing with cultural differences.
Finally, we'll talk about technology and how it affects our daily lives and language learning habits.
So, find a comfortable place, take a deep breath, and let's begin. Sarah, let's start with work. Over the last few years, many companies have started offering remote or hybrid working options.
Yes, and those 2 terms are important. Remote work means working outside a traditional office, usually from home.
And hybrid work means dividing your working time between home and the office. For example, you might work from home 3 days a week and go to the office for the other 2 days.
Personally, I think hybrid work can offer the best of both worlds.
The best of both worlds is a useful expression. It means enjoying the advantages of 2 different situations at the same time.
Exactly. When you work from home, you can save time because you don't have to commute every morning.
A commute is the regular journey between your home and workplace. Some people have a short commute of 10 or 15 minutes.
But other people spend more than an hour traveling to work every morning and another hour traveling home in the evening.
That can be exhausting, especially if you have to sit in heavy traffic or use crowded public transportation.
Working from home can also help people save money. They may spend less money on transportation, fuel, coffee, and lunch.
That's true, but remote work isn't perfect. Some people feel lonely because they don't have enough face-to-face communication with their colleagues.
Yes, a quick conversation in the office kitchen may not seem important, but those small social interactions can make people feel connected to their team.
Another problem is distraction. When you work from home, you might be distracted by housework, family members, pets, or even your television.
I once tried to work from my living room, but I kept looking at the television. Even when it was turned off, I felt tempted to watch something.
What did you do?
I created a separate working area. It wasn't a complete home office, but I placed a small desk in a quiet corner of my apartment.
Did it help?
Definitely. When I sit at that desk, my brain understands that it's time to work. When I leave the desk, my working day is finished.
That's a great way to maintain a healthy work-life balance.
Work-life balance means having enough time and energy for both your professional responsibilities and your personal life.
A poor work-life balance can lead to stress and burnout.
Burnout is a state of mental and physical exhaustion caused by working too much or experiencing stress for a long period.
I used to check my work emails late at night. Sometimes, I even replied to messages while I was eating dinner.
That sounds stressful.
It was. Eventually, I realized that I needed to set clear boundaries.
To set boundaries means to create limits and communicate what you will or will not accept.
Now, when my working day finishes, I log off, close my laptop, and turn off work-related notifications.
Do you ever receive an urgent message after working hours?
Occasionally. If something is truly urgent, I may respond. But I don't want every small issue to feel like an emergency.
That's an important point. Everything cannot be a priority.
Exactly. If everything is considered urgent, the word urgent loses its meaning.
Let's move on to professional meetings. Many English learners feel nervous when they have to speak during a business meeting.
That's understandable. Even native speakers sometimes feel nervous when speaking in front of colleagues or managers.
What can learners do if they don't understand something?
They should ask for clarification. You can say, "Could you clarify what you mean?" Or, "Could you please explain that in a little more detail?"
Another professional phrase is, could you elaborate on that?
To elaborate on something means to provide more details or explain it more fully.
For example, imagine your manager says, we need to improve customer engagement.
You may understand the individual words, but you may not understand what action your manager expects.
In that situation, you could say, could you elaborate on what you mean by customer engagement?
That question doesn't make you look unprepared. In fact, asking a clear question can show that you are paying attention.
What about sharing an opinion?
Instead of always saying, I think, you can use phrases such as, from my perspective, in my opinion, or as far as I'm concerned.
Let's give an example. From my perspective, allowing employees to work from home twice a week could improve productivity.
Productivity means the amount of useful work a person or organization can complete.
And how can you agree professionally?
You can say, I completely agree with your point. That makes a lot of sense. Or, I think you've raised an important issue.
Disagreeing is usually more difficult.
Yes, saying, you're wrong can sound aggressive. A more respectful phrase is, I see your point, but
You could also say, I understand where you're coming from, but I have a slightly different perspective.
I understand where you're coming from means that you understand the reasons behind someone's opinion, even if you don't completely agree.
That expression keeps the conversation calm and constructive.
So, the next time you participate in an English meeting, remember that you don't need to use extremely complicated vocabulary.
Clear, polite, and confident language is usually more effective than trying to sound overly sophisticated.
Now, let's move on to travel. Sarah, do you enjoy visiting new places?
Absolutely. I enjoy seeing different cities, trying local food, and learning how people live in other parts of the world.
When was your last trip?
A few months ago, I visited a small town in Europe. It wasn't a famous tourist destination, but that was one of the reasons I chose it.
So, you wanted to avoid the crowds.
Exactly. I wanted a quieter and more authentic experience.
Authentic means real or genuine, rather than something created only for tourists.
The trip also gave me an opportunity to step out of my comfort zone.
Stepping out of your comfort zone means doing something unfamiliar or challenging that may help you grow.
For example, I usually plan every detail before traveling. I book my hotel, research restaurants, and save important locations on my phone.
That sounds very organized.
Maybe a little too organized. During this trip, I decided to spend one day without a detailed plan.
What happened?
I walked around the town, visited a local market, and ate at a small family-owned restaurant. None of those activities had been included in my original plan.
Did you enjoy it?
Very much. It reminded me that unexpected experiences can sometimes become the best part of a trip.
Traveling can also cause culture shock.
Culture shock is the feeling of confusion or surprise that people experience when they enter an unfamiliar culture.
It doesn't always mean something dramatic. Small differences can also create culture shock.
That's true. Mealtimes may be different. Shops may close earlier than you expect. People may greet each other differently.
In some places, people greet each other with a handshake. In other places, they may hug or kiss each other on the cheek.
Personal space can also be different. In some cultures, people stand close together when they speak. In others, people prefer more distance.
Punctuality is another major cultural difference.
Punctuality means arriving or completing something at the expected time.
In some cultures, arriving 5 minutes late for a business meeting may be considered disrespectful.
In other cultures, arriving 15 or 20 minutes late to a social event may be completely normal.
That's why it's helpful to learn about local customs before traveling.
However, even with good preparation, travelers sometimes face unexpected problems.
Such as getting lost.
Exactly. Imagine that you're trying to find the main train station. Instead of only asking, "Where is the station?" you can say, "Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of the main station?"
To point someone in the direction of something means to show or explain which way they should go.
You could also say, I seem to have lost my way. Could you help me?
That sounds polite and natural.
When someone gives you directions, listen for words such as turn left, turn right, go straight ahead, across from, and next to.
Let's give a short example.
Okay. Imagine I'm a traveler and you're a local person.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the city museum?
Of course. Go straight ahead for about 5 minutes. Then turn left at the traffic lights. The museum will be on your right, across from the park.
Thank you. Is it within walking distance?
Yes, it's about 10 minutes away.
Within walking distance means close enough to reach by walking.
Another common travel situation is ordering food at a restaurant.
Instead of saying, I want this, you can say, I'd like to order the daily special.
You can also ask, could you recommend a local dish?
A local dish is a type of food traditionally prepared in a particular region.
What should you say if you have a food allergy?
You need to be clear. You could say, I'm allergic to peanuts. Does this dish contain any peanuts or peanut oil?
That's important. A food preference and a food allergy are not the same thing.
Exactly. If you are vegetarian, you can ask, do you have any vegetarian options available?
And if you don't eat dairy products, you could ask, does this contain any milk, butter, or cheese?
Some learners avoid speaking because they're afraid of making mistakes.
But traveling doesn't require perfect English.
You mainly need to communicate your basic needs, listen carefully, and remain polite.
And when you don't understand someone, you can say, I'm sorry, could you say that again more slowly?
Most people will appreciate the fact that you are making an effort to communicate.
Every successful interaction, even a small one, can increase your confidence. Let's move on to our final topic, technology. Sarah, how much time do you spend on your smartphone every day?
Honestly, I'm afraid to check my screen time.
That much?
Probably. I use my phone for work emails, maps, banking, shopping, music, podcasts, and staying in touch with friends.
So you rely heavily on your phone.
Yes, to rely on something means to depend on it.
Technology makes life more convenient, but it can also become overwhelming.
That's true. We receive messages, emails, news alerts, application updates, and social media notifications all day.
Sometimes a notification interrupts you even when the information isn't important.
And once you pick up your phone, it's easy to become distracted.
You may check one message and then spend 20 minutes scrolling through social media.
That happens to me more often than I'd like to admit.
Do you ever take a digital detox?
Occasionally. A digital detox means taking a temporary break from electronic devices, social media, or the internet.
How long does your digital detox usually last?
Not very long. Sometimes I put my phone in another room for an hour while I read a book or go for a walk.
Even a short break can be useful. You don't necessarily need to disconnect for an entire week.
Exactly. The goal is to use technology intentionally instead of checking your phone automatically.
Technology also offers incredible opportunities for learning English.
20 years ago, learners often needed to buy expensive books, CDs, or language courses.
Today, people can access podcasts, videos, electronic books, dictionaries, and language learning applications almost instantly.
You can listen to native speakers, record your own voice, and communicate with people from different countries.
However, having access to thousands of resources can create another problem.
Too many choices.
Exactly. Some learners spend more time searching for the perfect resource than actually studying.
The perfect application or course probably doesn't exist. The most important thing is choosing a useful resource and using it consistently.
Consistency means continuing to do something regularly over time.
Studying for 20 minutes every day is usually more effective than studying for 5 hours once a month.
You can also connect English practice to an existing habit.
For example, listen to an English podcast while walking, cooking, cleaning, or commuting.
Another useful strategy is turning off non-essential notifications during study time.
You could also use a timer. Study for 25 minutes, take a short break, and then continue if you still have time and energy.
And don't try to learn every new word at once.
Choose a few useful expressions, write them down, and try to use them in your own sentences.
Active use helps vocabulary stay in your memory.
We've reached the end of today's episode, so let's quickly review what we learned.
In the work and career section, we discussed remote work, hybrid work, commuting, productivity, burnout, and work-life balance.
We also practiced professional meeting expressions such as, "Could you clarify what you mean?" and "Could you elaborate on that?"
To express an opinion, you can say, "From my perspective," or "In my opinion."
And to disagree respectfully, you can say, "I see your point, but have we considered another option?"
In the travel section, we talked about stepping out of your comfort zone, culture shock, local customs, and punctuality.
We also practiced useful travel phrases including, "Could you point me in the direction of the main station?" and "Could you recommend a local dish?"
In the technology section, we learned expressions such as rely on, digital detox, and non-essential notifications.
We also discussed why regular practice is more effective than studying for many hours only occasionally.
Here is a small challenge for you. Choose 3 expressions from today's episode and use each one in a new sentence.
You can also listen to this episode again and repeat our sentences aloud.
Don't worry if your pronunciation isn't perfect. Improvement comes from repetition, not perfection.
Thank you very much for spending this time with us.
Keep practicing, stay curious, and take small steps every day.
We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Have a wonderful day. Bye!